See, I told you I wouldn't take as long. Anyway, you read the title, we're talking about Giant Form today. But first I should probably address some things that I missed in the Super Saiyan guide. First of all, I neglected to mention anything about the teleporting ability that you get when you transform, which allows you to fully charge any charged ki move, like, say, the Kamehameha or the Gallic Gun, and instant transmission near your opponent like the Warp Kamehameha. That was indeed a mistake on my part, and I have added an annotation for it. I also got several comments mentioning a hidden stamina recovery perk with future Super Saiyan. I shit you not, guys, I can't see it at all. I tried to test it, and if there is a boost, it must be so small that it's almost unnoticeable. I've been told that it gives a 15% boost, a 50% boost, both of which are really significant amounts, but each time I tried it, I just cannot see a difference. Alright, enough about the last guy, let's go ahead and get started with the new one. So, Giant Form. How good is it? Meh? If you saw my Namekian build video, you probably know that I think Giant Form is good if it's used as a finisher, since it doesn't really have the durability to last the entire match, but I didn't go into any specific details about how best to use the form when you're actually in it. So that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. So, what does the form do? Well, Ray Charles, it turns you into a giant. While in the form, your basic attack combo string is changed, deals more damage, your supers are replaced with 3 generic Ki Blast attacks and a defensive AoE attack. You're granted heavy super armor, and any attacks by your opponent drains your stamina instead of your health. Also, much like Kaioken, your stamina drains at a rapid pace while sustaining Giant Form. Unfortunately, the stamina drain is slightly faster than Kaioken times 20, so if you're someone who wants to prioritize the use of this transformation, then it would probably be best if you have a pool of stamina at or around 8 bars, since the normal drain, plus any attack from your opponent, could leave you with little to accomplish and everything to lose. Finally, and probably the most useful detail about Giant Form, you also regenerate ki in the background, while you also gain more by landing a basic combo. Speaking of basic combos, you remember my thoughts on Giant Form and Power Pole Pro when I did my favorite transformations video? I don't find these forms at all fun to use because not only do they replace your normal combos, but you aren't even given a good number of new ones. For Giant Form, your big damaging combo, your only combo in fact, is 3 light attacks and 1 heavy attack. That's all. Now it does deal a good bit of damage, but if you get your rocks off from flashy combos zipping all over the map and throwing flurries of attacks in 2-second long bursts, this is not the form for you. But if there's one thing you can do with this combo is bully your opponent in the World Tournament map. As for the super moves that you get while you're in your Giant Form, they're all just generic Ki Blasts that were given to the form because without them, every match with it would be a dull sludge pile to play through. 3 of them are ranged attacks with varying distances, and the 4th is the Roar ability that you often see Great Apes use. I would have said that it was meant to get an aggressive opponent off of you, but if they're pressuring you, you can just catch them with a basic combo because of your super armor. So the only other use I can see for this move is to stop an incoming Ki Blast super or ultimate attack, but there's a bit of a problem with that. I don't exactly know how to explain it, so let me show you what I mean. So yeah, the Roar ability is kind of worthless. The ranged Ki Blasts are also kind of underwhelming, but the mid-range blast can sometimes be used after the basic 3 light 1 heavy combo, and depending on the scenario, you can even combo each blast into each other in a stair-step fashion. But for the most part, the most reliable way to dish out damage is just doing a basic attack combo, rushing in with the left trigger and a light attack, and then doing the combo again. Okay, so we've determined that while Giant Form's damage output is impressive, it's not very reliable to build for since the stamina drain is too much and there are too many ways to defend against it. Oh, speaking of which, let's talk about how easily Giant Form can be countered. Many super moves can be used as pot shots to whittle down a giant Namekian stamina, one of the most effective being All Clear. Not only does that take off a whopping 3 bars of stamina in a single swipe, but it can also be used while blocking. Other moves that can easily take off a large chunk of stamina, some of them even the entire bar, are most beam ultimates like Super Kamehameha, Final Flash, and Full Power Energy Wave, moves with heavy tracking like Sudden Storm and Death Ball, and all-encompassing skills like Super Ki Explosion. But a giant Namekian is not completely defenseless when someone uses these moves. For example, if you encounter someone who uses All Clear and spends a lot of the time blocking when you're in your Giant Form, you can grab them out of it. If your opponent tries to fire a beam ultimate at you, if you're fast enough, you can quickly revert to your original form and either dodge out of the way or burst rush behind them to break their stamina. Or, if you can't get out of the way or you end up eating the damage and are pulled out of your Giant Form, you can do what I do, which I showed in my Namekian build video, and have a counter move on hand just in case your opponent gets an itchy trigger finger. Or itchy fist. Itchy fist trigger. Itchy fist finger. Not a single one of those I can say without sounding sexual. One last thing I want to say about Giant Form is that it is absolutely awful on maps with high elevation like Tommy's Lookout, the Sky and Space maps, and Archipelago.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
There will often be situations where you're too high or you're too low to hit your opponent, and the only way you can catch up to them is to ascend or descend with their respective buttons, which takes forever. Normally you could just boost dash towards your opponent at the expense of a little bit more stamina, but if they're too low, if they're too high, boost dashing could just make you dash too far. So keep in mind that the best maps to use Giant Form on are the really smaller ones with little clutter, like the World Tournament map or the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. Okay, I think I got everything and didn't miss any hidden details, but do let me know if there was something I somehow missed. In case you were wondering, the next guide after this will be on the Power Pole Pro, which will be the last of the race-specific forms, so we can move on to Kaioken and Potential Unleashed. But before I end the video, I'm thinking of doing something a little bit different but nonetheless familiar really soon. Have fun decrypting that, but if you see something on my channel that seems a little out of left field, give it a watch and let me know what you think, and if you guys like it, I'll probably continue it. Regardless, look forward to the next guide and or build video, and I'll see you then.